What do you think is the main resistance to this level of creativity in the market right now? Because I think you would agree that if you look at many industries, I think they're struggling with their creativity. Everybody wants to be innovative, but nobody knows how.
Yes, they want to be innovative, and then they hire a senior innovation manager and think, now we're innovative. That's not. It's a cultural thing. Okay, it never worked like this.
We never done it that way before.
This is not our industry. We cannot do that. It doesn't fit to our image. This is one reason, and I think the other one is that the fear of the amount and the effort to change something. We have to adopt. We have to change processes. We have to do something. And that's not design thinking. Design thinking means fast prototyping, easygoing solutions, just test it.
Yeah. I think what also helps is if you travel international and you're experienced to different cultures, you see what new alternatives there are. Yeah. I think big contrast between the United States. In the United States, you have 24/7 access to services, right? You can get something to eat 24 hours a day. You can go shopping every 24 hours a day. A lot of my American friends who've moved to Europe, the first thing they complain about, what your supermarkets are closed on Sunday. By the way, I like what you said beforehand. We don't just do design thinking for outward customers, but our employees, whether or not they have to work on a Sunday, is also a cultural benefit or non-benefit.
Yeah, but
right?
Police officers are working on Sunday, nurses and hospital managers are working on Sundays, tram is running, So
I'm gonna use a concrete example. I've always, how we generally often recognize silly status quo. I'm gonna give you an example. For example, car dealerships, right? When do car dealerships have open? They have open from Monday to Friday. Sometimes at 9, sometimes at 10, sometimes at 7, right? They're open from, and then I ask myself, well, who are their customers? And where are they? They're at work.
Yeah, why not open on Sundays and have a nice
Why do certain industries not shift their work time to before or after, or you know what, we're not open on Mondays? Like hair salons, right?
Yes.
In Europe.
And Chinese restaurants.
Yeah, we're not open on Monday, but we're open on Saturday. Yeah. Quite honestly, when is the best opportunity for a family to buy a car? Because it's a family decision.
On weekends.
On a Saturday, right? Maybe you don't want to sacrifice Sunday, but Saturday, who cares about Monday? How much business do you do on Monday, right? And that's a real life example of, I think most companies stand in their own way because they're more afraid of the uncertainty of something new. They'd rather accept the crappy status quo than entertain something new because they're uncertain.
And you just said sacrificed Sunday. Is it still sacrificed? Sacrificed or sacrificed? Sacrificed.
Yeah.
How many people are still religious? How many people are still into that? Is it just because it used to be like 60 years ago?
Yeah.
We live close to Slovak Republic, and if you go shopping to Bratislava on a Sunday, it's full.
Yeah.
Full of people, and 75% have an Austrian license plate on their cars.
I go a step further. This is like deep dive design thinking. I've also thought from a different perspective. If you look at, for example, in the service industry, I worked in hotel business and restaurant business for a long time, so I still have that mentality as a consultant. A lot of people say, Can I send you something on Saturday? Sometimes I say no because I've got something planned, and sometimes I say if it's important, I'll work on Saturday and Sunday, right? But I'll compensate. If you look at if you go do a city trip somewhere in Europe, right? And you do the traditional way of traveling, you go on a long weekend. It's a nightmare. Yeah. Go to Rome or London or Paris on a weekend, you might as well shoot yourself. It's like going to
Thursday is a public holiday. Maybe you go there.
It's like going to IKEA on a Saturday. You want to hang yourself, right? In one of the closets that they have, right? And I often said, I'm surprised that we don't do design thinking also in our culture interaction. That we maybe, and it won't be easy, but to create a culture where the people who work on Saturday and Sunday have an equally compensation for it Maybe you could do one day of the weekend. Some people have off Friday, Saturday. Other people have off Sunday, Monday. Or that you might even just say, hey, listen, your days off are, I don't know, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday. Whatever, yeah. Right? Now that's an issue from a deeper perspective if you have children in school. But what I'm saying is, we would do a lot for our economy if we didn't have constantly this Ballung, that we say in German. This, everything happens on a weekend. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants everything at the same time. And the question is, are we distributing our potential of customer interaction and revenue and service over multiple periods? What about the dead times? Why is it that a store has to be open when nobody's going there? Yeah. Right?
Yeah, true. And again, this is like an approach of design thinking. There is not the employee who has kids and family and wants to stay home on Sunday. Yes, of course. Mm-hmm. But there are different types of employees. And maybe there's someone whose partner is working in night shifts anyway and says, yeah, perfect. Sunday from 10 to 3, I'd love to work. I get more money maybe, or I get compensated.
Yeah, you have to make up for it in some form or fashion.
Sure. Yeah, or
there's going to be a win-win situation.
Yeah, or there are people still at the university who say, yes, I want to get some extra money on the weekends, and therefore I have time to go to university on Tuesday, Wednesday. So yes, again, it's about skipping old, traditional, it used to be like this, mantras and going towards an agile way, of creative way, of innovative ways to do the best for the users. Could be employees, could be customers, could be users, could be societies.
But what you said, and I like it very much, what you said is really, really important. You senior and executive managers out there shouldn't take this as a license to say, screw my employees, I'm going to force them to work whenever I want them to work, right? Because that's when the customer needs them. You have to remember, your employees are also your users. They also have to have experience, and it needs to be a win-win situation. So I think